man. I'm a legend in my own mind. Hey, you know me better as the voice of some of the most popular cartoon characters in the world. Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Scrappy-Dappy-Doo! Puppy power! Like in Shaggy too? And you've got the Sullivan Project podcast. It's coming at you right now.
What's up, everyone? This is Harold Sullivan. Welcome to the Sullivan Project podcast. I gotta put this there. We'll get her. It's a little awkward right there. Okay. What's up, everyone? Hey, Google, what time is it?
It's 6:09 p.m.
This is the Sullivan Project podcast. I'm your host, Harold Sullivan. Let's see here, 6:09. So, yeah, the camera just fell over. I'm blind. In case y'all haven't tuned in before, I just lost my sight a couple years ago. Autoimmune disease I was born with. I'm small, about 70 pounds, a little over 4 feet. I'm in my 40s now. I'm going to keep going. You know, God got me. Who got you? You know, that's one of my Sullyisms I've come up with. I've become more spiritual after I lost my sight. Sometimes it takes, a lot. You got to get to certain points, and it seems like that's a lot for, that happens a lot for people to try to find direction. They got to get to a certain spot. But we're back here, and this is 77 now episode maybe. We just talked about some celebrities I've met in the past in the last episode with Chris. So let's. I got some more that I couldn't remember, but if you want to check those out, go back. I have some more now. I'm going to mention. Go check it out if you want. Just got done vaping. Sorry. If you want to be on the podcast, audio or video, or if you want to leave comments or whatever, we appreciate the shares, likes, follows. It's Harold Sullivan 78 on YouTube, Harold Sullivan 78 on TikTok, and then Harold Sullivan period 35 on Facebook. And then you can call in the show too. Leave a message, I might answer. It's 724 513 1472. If you want to talk to Chris, Greg, see, we just did a little video with Greg and Randy, so you can see what they look like because they do audio podcast with me. So if you want anybody, Danny, Dan, if you want to leave anything for any of them, any messages, you can do that there. We appreciate it. I'm just trying to help people. Everyone has a story. You can't judge a book by its cover. And sometimes people just need a place. A voice to the voiceless. Damn. I should have drank something. Sorry. But yeah, I want you can come on and just talk. No judgment. I'm not the judge, just a messenger. That's another Sullyism I've come up with. So yeah, the famous people. Let's piggyback off of that. And then if you want to find out the other ones, go check out the social media. Let's see. Lewis Libbs, he was a football player for the Steelers. He actually came to Aliquippa Elementary School when I was young. So I met him, I remember. He didn't even sign real autographs. He signed like one and they copied them and handed them out to kids. And they ripped out the piece. Like, it wasn't even one per sheet, I don't think. I think it was like, you know what I mean? They just ripped out he had like 4 or 5 copies. Like, they copied the signature and then put 4 or 5 on a sheet and then printed them out. And ripped them out, the little squares and handed them out. So I met him, and then Ken Reggett, the Penguins goalie, the ex-Penguins goalie, he actually came to the Beaver Valley Mall. Back when the Beaver Valley Mall used to do card shows, like trading card shows and arts and crafts shows. And him and Peter Taglin, Danny were there. He was a Pittsburgh Penguin. I actually met Mr. McFeely from Mr. Rogers there. And then when I was a child, I met Mr. Rogers at the Pittsburgh Hospital, Children's, I remember. Very, very young. I remember eating Oreos. I used to love me. I still like some Oreos. but they used to give you them little snacks at night, and I used to eat the Oreos. I was in the hospital. I've been close to death 30 times. I was in the hospital so much when I was a child. I didn't even get to be a child. And then I quit walking when I was like 10. So, uh, hey Google, what did I want you to remember? This is how I take messages here.
Here's what you told me. First, Louis Lips.
Okay.
Second, reggae Italian Rogers McFeely.
And I'm writing some songs.
It's Luther and
Hey
accomplice
Google,
for
stop.
hires.
Yeah, I went through some of the song lyrics I was writing over the last couple of years with the audio recorder, and I had lost a few, but I try to rewrite them again, which is hard to get back in that sense, since I can't see anymore. I got to use the audio recorder. Well, what I do is what I do is I use Google to take a note, like I just reverse, and then I'll repeat it back into the audio recorder, and then someone can help me retype it later or whatever. Uh, Alexa, what are my notes? I have Alexa too.
I found 12 notes.
Alexa, what are my notes? Alexa, what are my notes? Okay. Never had this happen. Hey, Alexa, what are my notes? Alexa, can you hear me? Hey, Alexa just completely quit working. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 6:15 p.m.
Alexa, what are my notes?
Okay,
Alexa, what are my notes?
I found 12 notes.
Boy.
First note, furnace fire TV guide.
Alexa, stop.
Second note,
Okay, yeah, it's just glitching in here today. Stuff falling over. It's a lot going on with psychic activity. So I got the furnace is I think it's fixed. Somehow my brother-in-law and my sister got maybe on a payment plan to fix, so we should be good in case anybody cared or was interested. Because I had mentioned before that we were having troubles. And the odd thing is, yeah, they found an infestation of ants in the chimney right below, which is right below my bedroom. And I knew it was something wrong because I was like, why was there ants in here? But when the chimney collapsed in, it took care of that. But they found them down there when they were cleaning it out. Literally, this is one of the most painful things ever. If you, I was getting, this is months ago, maybe a year ago, I was woken up in the middle of the night getting bit on my privates and butthole. Literally, I didn't know ants bite. I mean, I heard that they bite, but it was ants, literally. And we got, we got there was part of the wall was coming apart, so we got that nailed back together, and then the chimney collapsed and then took care of the ants. But the chimney, I think, is all fixed now, and furnace should be good when the winter comes along anyway. So we got furnace. I want to mention farting too, which I mentioned a couple podcasts ago. Greg and I griping about getting older and stuff and different things, and I wanted to mention about farting. Sometimes you fart and it just ain't just air. When this happens, and everybody does it. I don't care who you are. You just sometimes you fart. There's a little bit of air or a little bit of moist with it, and you have a little accident maybe. And it just happens when you get older. Sometimes when you're younger, or if you have bad problems, or you eat something wrong. But usually, yeah, when it gets older, you can't gauge that stuff. You don't know if it's going to be air, a fart, water, poop, whatever. It's pretty bad. I want to mention something called a TV guide, which the younger generation doesn't know about. Yeah, they used to come out. I don't know if they still have them. Probably not. But you get them at the grocery store, and they came in the mail. And if you wanted to find out what was coming on TV, it was a guide. It was like a little book, a little magazine, and they had pictures in it and write-ups. And it would have like each week, like every every week, what was coming on TV on certain channels would be in there. And you'd have to flip through, find the times, you know, and look up the stuff. People collected them and used to cut the pictures out. And if there was anything cool, like a movie or something, they had a little ad or a little poster in there, like for it. And Chris and I used to actually do that for the movie theaters when they used to list the movie times back in like the 80s and 90s, and they would have little posters and write-ups about the movie coming out that weekend or that Friday, and like Friday the 13th or something when the original ones came out. We would cut out the clippings and save them, man. That was the coolest thing. The TV guide, it was just cool, like, and People don't have that now. So I wanted to mention that. Alexa, what are my notes?
Okay,
Alexa, what are my notes?
I found 12 notes. First note, Furnace Fire TV
Let me go
Guide.
through these here.
Second note, Restaurant Buffalo Chicken Gospel List.
Alexa,
Third
stop.
note,
Okay, so restaurant the other day, yeah, me and Greg and Randy met at the restaurant, not K&N, it's called in Ambridge. And see, my mom had worked there when she was very, very young, maybe even a teenager or in her 20s. And I didn't, realize and know which place that was till when I was an adult. I moved to that town and was eating it and hanging out the same place, and couldn't imagine her being there like so many years before that. Like a Back to the Future. I don't know, but it's a nice place. Also, I like to order a buffalo chicken pizza. It can't be too spicy though. And there's things called cannolis. If anybody's ever tried them, it's like white cream inside this like flaky tortilla shell kind of, and it has chocolate chips in it. It's so good. It's sugary though, but these are like I don't know if it's like a spicy hot and like a sweet. I never put that together how those combinations work, but now since my taste buds and everything else is just different, going crazy, it's like I like like you have the buffalo chicken and then you have the sweet, which is the dessert with it on the side, the cannoli. So we got buffalo chicken, cannoli, restaurant. Alexa, what are my notes?
okay,
Alexa, what are my notes?
I found 12 notes.
This thing is slower than Google.
First note, Furnace Fire TV Guide.
I don't want to delete it,
Second
it'll take
note,
too much.
Restaurant Buffalo Chicken Gospel List.
Okay, gospel list.
Third note, Mansion Audible Apps. And
Okay.
fourth note, Telly Doorstep Testicles Crystals.
Alexa,
Would you like
stop.
to hear the next four?
Alexa, stop. Okay, so gospel list. I'm going to put together. This is a project though, and I've
Fifth
got.
note,
Alexa,
Superman.
stop. I want to put together a gospel list for everyone of the missing books from the Bible, and I don't think anybody knows. It's probably impossible to know how many, but there are many. I thought there was like some in the teens maybe, but I think it's more than that because I've probably listened to close to 12 or 13 already. So when I get the names together, I'm going to put that list together and get it to y'all. Such as Gospel Thomas, Peter, Mary Magdalene, Book of Adam and Eve. Enoch is the most famous, probably. There's so many different names. Ezra, Baruch. Blah, blah, blah. I can go on and on. Audible. I want to mention that I don't have a sponsor, and I don't sell nothing on here. Everything's free. But I use Google, and I just started using Audible. So I just want to tell you how they work. It's like $14.99 or whatever a month, right? You get one free credit. That means you get any book of any price. There was a book on there. It's like $60. I can't believe it. So I'm going to use my one credit the next time to buy that because there's no way I'm paying that much. And I don't know if they do that on purpose, but you know what I mean? Because that's ridiculous for one book. I don't care. But so you get one credit, and then there's a library they have with so much free stuff would you get for free, and then you get discount like probably a third to half off of the top price of the things for being a member. So it's a pretty good deal. So I just want to let y'all know how that works there. I just got a couple new crystals. Kyanite, which I have a bracelet on. I don't want to bump the camera here and knock it over again. On my arm, it's like a bluish. And it's actually one of them ones that's self-cleaning, and it cleans and makes everything else neutral and positive. So you can just have it around, and all the other stones you have, it will clean them and clear them. It's pretty neat. And then I got a piece of, which is very hard to find, very rare. They're both hard to find, but spirit quartz it's called, or cactus quartz, or porcupine quartz. And I got a piece that's white.
Sorry, I don't know the answer.
See, nobody's talking to you, the computer. See, porcupine quartz, yeah, cactus quartz. So what it is it has like layers and layers coming out of it. That's kind of like a cactus or a porcupine, and they can come in a couple different colors, but it's mostly like a white. And the piece I got came from on eBay from Africa, supposedly. But I know it's very rare because I checked several places online and can't find much about it or places to buy it. So, Tony Dorsett is a football player. I almost mentioned him, but I didn't know who he was. And I was in a bar getting lunch, not drinking, but getting lunch downtown Aliquippa, where I live, called War Rose. Tony Dorsett, this was a couple years ago, right before I lost my sight, was in there with a couple people and walked out. And they were like, that was Tony Dorsett. I was like, oh, wow. So I remember that. Uh, Alexa, what are my notes?
Okay,
Alexa, what are my notes?
I found 12 notes. First note, Furnace Fire TV
We're
Guide.
almost done with the notes.
Second note, Restaurant Buffalo Chicken Gospel
Yeah, buffalo
List.
chicken is good.
Third note, Mansion Audible Apps.
Not too spicy.
And fourth note, Telly Doorstep Testicles Crystals. Would you like to hear the next four?
No. Okay, testicle. I want to mention this because this is just funny. Uh, well, not funny. Actually, it's not funny. Uh, uh,
According to Mayo
Alexa,
Clinic,
stop.
the exact cause of testicular
Alexa,
cancer
stop.
isn't known.
What the heck? Oh my god. No, I wanted to mention this is for guys that are older or whatever. Just so you know, vasectomy or whatever, or even if you only have one testicle, okay, you can still have kids. This is the information that I have both. I'm just saying, I want people to have the knowledge, you know. So, and if I hear something I think people might want to know or might need to know, I want to tell y'all. So, but yeah, so if you only have one, I believe you can still have kids. And if you do the vasectomy thing, what that is that cuts off. See, the stuff comes down from your body, mixes, and then makes the semen or whatever. So what it does is it cuts off the mixing part, and you just no longer, you still have the feeling and orgasm and all that. You just don't have the mess anymore, I guess is what you call it. Or some may have it, but it just doesn't have the sperm in it because it doesn't reach it because the snip. So, which just sounds like, oh, I don't know. But that's just a little bit of health for y'all. Hey, Google, what time is it?
It's 6:25 p.m.
Okay, so what time did I say? 6:09, right? 6:09. So we're going to talk about supernatural a little bit. Supernatural in the Bible. Or supernatural and the Bible, I should say. Or both. So what time did I say? We're going to do so 6:39. Okay. Yeah, so the stuff I can remember anyway. The TV show Supernatural. Well, actually, let me talk about the Bible and then we'll do Supernatural. So in the actual Bible, King James, they mention the word the Matrix, which I'm guessing is their way of explaining a different, of going to another level or kingdom or heaven maybe. They mention the Matrix. There's unicorns. There's spirits. There's giants. What else is there? The giants are the half breed, supposedly the alien or the alien or angel. I let it slip, Freudian slip, came down and bred and made giants. But they edited a lot of that out of the Bible. So, and then you have the UFOs, which they don't mention per se, but Ezekiel's will, and then every time there's a cloud that came down or a cloud spoke, I believe that's a UFO, or what we would call a UFO. So, if you go for the ancient alien theories, see what else is in there that's I don't know. What else is in the Bible that's supernatural? I mean, a lot of it is everything that Jesus did. We could consider supernatural, walking on water and turning water into wine and saving people, curing them, and all that. But so if we go to the TV show now, things that they mentioned. Now they didn't start getting into angels and demons and whatnot until the fourth season or so. But a lot of stuff I learned religion and stuff from that show, and it's just things that they took but put in the show and incorporated it, you know. And as far as like you got the Cain and Abel deal and supernatural, you got Castiel, named after the angel Cassio. Then you have Enoch, who became Metatron. Metatron was the scribe of God. You got Cain and Abel. You got the first blade, which they mentioned in the Bible, which was a jaw of an ass, I think he said. And he slew 1,000 people. Cain did with the blade. Or not, yeah, Cain, yeah. And then what else? You have so many stories in the supernatural. You have, if you want to go into the Lilith. Lilith was supposedly Adam's first wife, which they cut out of the Bible. Okay, before Eve, and then you also have Sophia, which is Sophia. If you go with the Gnostic, Sophia is light and God was the dark, and they were same thing or brother and sister. In the show Supernatural, you have Mara being the darkness. Mara actually means Mary, I think, in Hebrew. So they have all these things. It's neat. And then you have so you have the light and the dark, but it's the opposite way in Gnosticism. And then of course you have the angels and all the main angels in Supernatural, they appear. And then all the myths and different things, and then you have grace, angel grace, and you have aura, and you just have so many things, so many stories from the Bible. They bring in so many characters from the Bible, and then even mythology, and they try to give it some kind of almost real sense in a story on a TV show with two brothers hunting things. And then later on, when they bring in quote unquote God, they call him Chuck, the prophet. They have prophets in there too, which is another thing. I'm trying to remember all the little details. There's so many things, but I learned all these things before I even started uh, listening to the audio Bible or getting into spiritualism. And then that show's on 15 years, and it almost had. They even have. They call it the Winchester Gospel because there's a guy writing about them in the show, right? And he's writing everything that's happening to them, but he ends up, quote unquote, like I said, being God later, but they think he's just a prophet at first. He's writing stories about what Sam and Dean are doing, and they have kind of like their own following almost, uh, called the Winchester Gospel. So they almost have like, and then the protection star, which is the 5 star with the circle, isn't really evil. People think of that pentagram or whatever. No, it means it's the elements in the circle, which is unity. So that's not even. It's not supposed to be bad. You know what I mean? And then all the herbs that they use, and then the different things, metals and stuff against certain things, and then the paranormal stuff, like all that stuff is we're straying away from it. But yeah, in the Bible, supernatural. Hey Google, what time is it?
It's 6:31 p.m.
So yeah, in the Bible, supernatural. Let's see, what else can I think of? If y'all can think of what else, the TV show Supernatural. Who else is in there? Sorry, I don't know who else is in there that's in the Bible. There's so many characters that's in there, and then there's other stories, like I said, mythology. But as far as the Bible, let's see here, what else? Cain and Abel. I'm trying to think of Cain and Abel. You have Metatron. You have Castiel, he's an angel, and he can just, you know, they got grace. They got auras. What else? That's pretty much about it as far as that. But in the actual Bible, they mention things that, like Ezekiel's wheel. It's just a wheel inside of a wheel that turns and what different way. And what else can that be? 2,000 some thousands of years ago. How else did they build the pyramids? How did they get thousands of pounds of bricks and rock put up so close together, cut so tight, and with just hundreds of guys, and all these rocks were from like miles away and up hills and stuff that they had to drag these things? There's no way. And I think that stuff was made with sound technology. If you ever heard of that, it's vibration, and with the right frequency, you can lift any kind of weight. Right? Think about it. Again, we're going off a little bit, but that's the supernatural in the Bible. And Jesus, like I said, he did supernatural stuff. Turned water into wine, made bread and fish, multiplied it by tons and tons. He healed people just by touch or by making just slight things, Even words, he just said, "Hey, go, you're healed, go." You know what I mean? And I think we could all do that. We could all do that to some, help each other. Just an encouraging word to someone else lifts their spirit, literally. And I want to let everybody know, love is a choice and so is the hate. And I come back on every time I can. I'm in lots of pain, but that doesn't matter because I'm here for a reason. We're all here, and I want to help people. And what I've been through, we all have a story. Like I said, you can come on and talk about your story. Don't be ashamed. Don't be. If anybody tells you, or tries to make you keep in things, don't. You know what I mean? Because that's not a weakness. That's a strength. Being compassionate for people and having empathy. You know, fear is the lowest frequency, and love is the highest. And you got to keep it high to keep in touch with spirit and to keep everything up. If you're afraid of everything, then you ain't gonna get what you gotta get, what you came here to learn. Okay, we're afraid because this body ain't natural to us. But if we're not, if you gotta remember, there's nothing to be afraid of. There really isn't. It's not a real thing. If you don't give it power, just like good stuff, you give it power, it exists. And whenever you want something to happen, what do? You talk it out loud, or you think of it to happen, and then what happens? It happens. You see how that works? Now you have to do things to get it to happen usually, but just the thought of thinking of it or saying it out loud makes it happen, and that works with the negative as well. So, but I will be back, and same bad time, same bad channel. See if I got any other Sullyisms here. Love yourself when you need it, right? Up with Jesus or down with sin. And like I said, God got me, who got you? Praise always. These are things that spirits have been sending to me the last couple of years. The key is forgiveness. That's another one. And just imagine, okay, here's another little practice for people. If you have anxiety, put a metal vest on yourself. It protects you because anxiety comes in through your chest. And then also cover yourself with a bubble. You know how they say you have a bubble? Mine is pink, all right? You can have any color you want or pick a chakra or whatever. We'll talk about chakras someday, different colors. You supposedly have at least 7 different chakras going up and down the body, different colors. And they keep you healthy, and it's like a deep spiritual thing. But anyway, mine is pink, right? So, and think of the ocean. Everything is an ocean, the whole existence. And I'm a little droplet of water, and when my droplet hits the ocean, it turns pink. Everything turns pink with love. And that's how I come into an area, and I want to come into everything. Because you have a choice to respond, don't react, and fight fire with water, right? That's another Sullyism. Fight fire with water. Think about it. Your bubble could be any color, your droplet could be any color, and you could turn the water any color. You don't want to turn it black or dark red. I mean, red could be love, but you get the idea. So, but yeah, we'll be back sometime soon, hopefully. And we want some guests, so come on here. Anybody, however you identify, male, female, any gender, no judgment. We'll just talk.